Joining us now, Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren. Hey, Tomi, it's always great to have you on. Okay, a rare departure from PBS, the Frontline, the new series about House Speaker Pelosi calls her polarizing, divisive. She's accused of dividing with her over-the-top, hyperbolic rhetoric. And now she's saying she fears for democracy if the GOP takes back control of Congress. What do you say to that?
Well, listen, I'm not surprised that the mainstream media is trying to cover themselves and throw some of the Democrats under the bus, given the Democrat agenda is performing so badly right now. But I'll say this. Where was the media for several years? This is nothing new. Nancy Pelosi has always been divisive. She has always been polarizing. She ripped up the State of the Union right behind Trump's back, for goodness sakes. She's always been this person. But, Liz, I got to tell you, what I think is happening is what I alluded to before. I believe that the mainstream media, more than anything, hates to be wrong. Now, they were wrong about bringing Democrats in power and what that would do to our country. Obviously been a dismal failure. But they're also really worried about the November midterms because they don't want to look bad again. So they will throw certain Democrat figureheads under the bus, but they won't throw the entire party or the radical agenda under the bus, which is what really needs to be taken out.
Yeah, that's the story, right? I mean, the story of this Democrat Party is the story of how Pelosi blocked the moderates and stopped the moderates in her own party who were a threat to her power, emptied out the bench of moderate leaders, dividing the party and the nation. Let's watch Senator Ted Cruz on this. Watch.
They know they're going to lose. And Nancy Pelosi is not going to go quietly. She's going to scream. She's already preparing to scream the election was stolen. And by the way, what she means by stolen is people showed up to vote against Democrats.
Is she really going to do that?
Well, of course she is, because all the Democrats have heading into midterms is January 6th, climate change, and race. That's all they have in the toolkit. But the Democrat Party is in tough shape right now as well, because you have Nancy Pelosi that has immense fundraising power. But then you have the other side of the Democrat Party that's even more woke and even more disastrous than that, the AOCs, who are also upset with figureheads like Nancy Pelosi. But they have the social media backing, and the Democrat Party thinks that that social media backing is important. So it's just going to be a matter of time before we see which way the Democrat Party wants to go. Who are they going to throw under the bus? Are they going to throw Nancy under the bus, or are they going to throw the squad under the bus? They both need to be thrown under the bus, but the Democrat Party, they're going to have to choose.
We're so far away from the Reagan, Tip O'Neill days, Bill Bradley, Dick Gephardt, right? I mean, Nancy Pelosi is running again. She says it's about the children, but Tomi doesn't talk about how children are being shot in this country because of crime, including in Pelosi's own home state of California, has record homicides and murders. Doesn't talk about that. Nancy Pelosi talked a lot about, how the Republican tax cuts were just crumbs, right? But guess what? $5,000 more a month under Trump in wage growth. Said we need mail-in ballots because people can't leave the house because of the pandemic, then told people to go out in the street and protest. I mean, the rhetoric is all over the map, and she said it was okay. People will do what they do when they were rioting and tearing down monuments.
Because she doesn't have to worry about her bank account. She doesn't have to worry about her personal safety and security. She is set for life. I think the only thing she cares about is her family and her stock portfolio. She wants to go out on a high note. I don't think that's going to be possible. But especially in California, these Democrats, they are addicted and they are drunk on power. This is the state that gave us Gavin Newsom, the state that gave us Kamala Harris, and of course, the den mother of it all, Nancy Pelosi. She's not going to go away quietly, but even if she goes away, she's still set for life. She doesn't care about us little people. What the Democrat Party as a whole needs to realize, they need to start propping up people like the mansions and the cinemas of their party, because those are the moderates that actually represent the true base of their party. The Democrats are going to have a lot to answer for in the midterms, and I don't think any of them are safe.
Tomi Lahren, great to have you on. Come back again soon. It's good to see you.